Amazon's executive chair, Jeff Bezos, and the two LLCs he uses to manage his investments and properties, they're being sued by former housekeeper Mercedes Wedaa. The woman, who identifies as Hispanic, claims she was subject to racial discrimination by Bezos' staff and also forced to work long hours in unsanitary conditions without rest or breaks, which led her and other housekeepers, she says in the suit, to develop urinary tract infections. Wedaa has worked for wealthy and high-profile families for 18 years with no issues, according to her lawyers. Meanwhile, lawyers representing Bezos' LLC say the claims have no merit.
So, former housekeeper for Jeff Bezos, Mercedes Wedaa, is filing a lawsuit for all kinds of horrible workplace conditions. Yeah, it does sound familiar, doesn't it? We're gonna get to why that is, but first let's get to some details as to what she's alleging, and also let's take a look at a picture of this woman who's filing this lawsuit against Jeff Bezos and his litany of high-priced attorneys. We'll see where it comes out, but let's go to some of these allegations first. Mercedes Wedaa said that she was hired by Bezos' staff in 2019 to help maintain the billionaire tech magnate's Seattle area property. Wedaa and other housekeeping staff regularly worked between 10 and 14 hours a day, weren't giving adequate meal or rest breaks, is what she alleged in this lawsuit. It was filed on Tuesday. More details about those repressive work conditions here. The lawsuit claims there was no designated break room or rest area, no easily accessible bathroom. Wedaa and other housekeepers were prohibited from using a toilet in a nearby security room, which resulted in employees climbing out of the laundry room window to access a bathroom, again, according to that lawsuit. The complaint alleges that Wedaa and other housekeepers frequently developed urinary tract infections because they had to spend large parts of their day unable to use the toilet. Housekeeping staff also was allegedly prohibited from entering the residence when the Bezos family was there unless they were cleaning. There was more to this though. Household managers allegedly treated Wedaa and other Hispanic cleaning staff poorly while they were respectful and polite, is that quote, to Bezos' white groundskeepers and maintenance staff. Again, that's what this complaint states. I mentioned how this is maybe familiar to other things that, or maybe that Jeff Bezos' companies were accused of treating employees a certain way. Here's why I said that. There was this headline from Forbes. They said a hard-hitting investigative report into Amazon shows that workers' needs were neglected in favor of getting goods delivered quickly. More of the lack of bathroom breaks, maybe break room areas, things like that, and people were just in these severe working conditions. Again, alleged by them, and also again now by this housekeeper, Mercedes Wedaa. So she was the people that were pushing back, though, they said she was ultimately fired though for raising these complaints about those working conditions. Again, something we've seen a lot of times when folks raise these conditions, then it's like, well, you don't belong here anymore. We can't have you. Raising issues and making sure everyone knows what is happening. So Bezos' lawyers though made the argument that none of this happened. Of course, that's what they're supposed to do. Harry Correll, a lawyer for Bezos and other defendants, which include Zephram and Northwestern, two companies that manage his interests and properties, said that Wedaa was fired for performance issues. He said this: "We've investigated the claims and they lack merit." I'm gonna pause there for a second. Harry Correll is the lawyer for Bezos and all these other defendants. Correll said, "We have investigated the claims and they lack merit." What is he supposed to say? Yeah, I'm an attorney for Jeff Bezos, this billionaire. We've investigated the claims, and since I represent him, I'm gonna say he's totally and utterly guilty. Of course,
yeah, he screws people all the time. That's what he does, bro. Get over it.
Kidding me? That's what the lawyer's supposed to say. I've always wondered why we even ask. It's like saying the police had an internal investigation, and they determined that the police didn't do anything wrong. It's amazing how that works, an internal silent investigation. Anyways, like I said, that's his job. I'll continue his statement here. He said that Wedaa made over 6 figures annually, and that there were multiple bathrooms and break rooms available for her and other staff. So Jackson, this is, again, it's a lawsuit. So, I mean, from my perspective, I wasn't there, so I'm not gonna tell you whether or not this did or did not happen. But just some of the things coming together as far as, first thing that stuck out to me was this attorney. Yeah, you're supposed to say those things, but why is this an element of this back and forth? Of course, proof may have to come out, maybe other witnesses to this or folks that experience these type of conditions for this trial and this lawsuit to really to get some legs on it.
Well, I think that we can't say exactly what did or didn't happen. However, this is kind of right in line with Amazon's reputation and Bezos's reputation with how he deals with workers and just kind of his policies with his companies. So it's not like this is unbelievable. And also I think it's important too to realize that people who are in Jeff Bezos's position, who basically own chunks of the marketplace, like he doesn't really he doesn't know everything that's going on in his company. I mean, he has access to it if he needs it. But the Amazon is so huge, and all the people he employs, and all the LLCs, and he has an army of people working underneath him. So stuff like this happens constantly, and it's not necessarily like at the forefront of his attention. You know, he has an army of lawyers who deal with this as part of routine, and it's a part of a matter of fact. So he'll be fine, just like he always is.
Easy. Now, other part about this is this one of the few things that came to me whenever we hear about celebrities that say, "Don't look at me in the face," because one of these things that stuck out was when they said, if the Bezos family's in the house, do not show up unless you're cleaning. We need you to look a certain way when he's there, because I was at Ellen DeGeneres. There was all those lawsuits against her in workplace environments, and people said that she was this person who, if you glanced at her eyeballs, she'd be like, "What's the matter with you?" So I'm trying to figure out if this is something that happens once you reach a certain level of fame, fortune, housing size, and now you have employees, staff to run your multi-million-dollar mansion. So then there's this separation from, they're just the help, they're like the wallpaper, don't look at me. I don't know if this is something that crosses all these types of lines. But for some reason, we keep seeing this as a characteristic of folks that work for sometimes the uber rich or uber well known. I just don't get that energy. I don't know. Maybe one day you'll make it, Jackson, and you'll be telling staff, you know what? Don't look at me.
Yeah, don't look me in the eyes. Only look at my toes. No. If I ever make it to that level, I'd be the coolest dude ever. But then obviously there's a problem with making it to that level in the first place. So there's a bit of a conundrum there.